Okay, fine. So see here, what is the first question they have given? It is regarding the anomalous expansion of water, right? So coming to the thermal properties of matter, the 2 marks question which can be asked is nothing but the anomalous expansion of water. Okay, so these are some of the questions, okay, which they have asked in your previous examination, okay, in the first year PUC examination. Okay, so what do you mean by this anomalous expansion? So anomalous expansion is nothing but the unusual behavior of water, right? So what happens here? So when the temperature, that is when the temperature of the water increases from 0 degree to till 4 degrees Celsius, so what happens? So the volume decreases. Okay, so once it crosses the 4 degrees Celsius, so what happens again? The volume increases. So hence we conclude that at 4 degrees Celsius of temperature, the water has the minimum volume. Okay, so similarly, when you plot the graph density versus temperature, as you know that at 4 degrees Celsius the density of water will be maximum. Okay, so this is regarding the unusual behavior or anomalous expansion of water, right? So the explanation of this can be explained by the survival of aquatic life in water, right? So for that you can just go through the notes that is regarding the anomalous expansion of water. So for 2 marks, no need of explaining that how the aquatic life survival survives in the winter. Okay, only if it is asked for 3 marks, you need to explain what is anomalous expansion and you need to explain how the aquatic life, okay, survives in the even through the severe winter. Okay, so next is regarding specific heat of a substance. Okay, so what is specific heat? We define that one as specific heat capacity or specific heat of a substance is the amount of heat required to raise the temperature of 1 kg of substance by 1 Kelvin. Okay, so amount of heat required to raise the temperature of 1 kg of substance by 1 Kelvin. Okay, so that is regarding the specific heat. What is the SI unit of that? SI unit is nothing but it is joule per kg per Kelvin. Okay, so the SI unit of specific heat capacity is nothing but it is joule per kg per Kelvin. Okay, so the next is it's regarding molar specific heat of a gas at constant volume. Okay, molar specific heat. So how we are going to define that? So it is nothing but first I'll come to that molar specific heat of a gas at constant volume. It is defined as the quantity of heat required to raise the temperature of 1 mole of a gas by 1 Kelvin, keeping volume constant, is called molar specific heat of a gas. Okay, where the amount of heat required to raise the temperature of 1 mole of a gas by 1 Kelvin. Okay, 1 mole of gas by 1 Kelvin, keeping volume constant is defined as molar specific heat at constant volume. Similarly, we are going to retain that which is that amount required to raise the temperature of 1 mole of a gas by 1 Kelvin. Same thing, just we are going to change that. We say that keeping pressure constant, that itself is called as molar specific heat of gas at constant pressure. Okay, so these are the some of the 2 mark questions. Okay, so you can also expect the 2 marks questions apart from this also. I have just highlighted some of the important questions from the uh, final examination paper. Okay, for example, for 2 marks it can also be asked, uh, give the principle of calorimeter. Even that can be asked. Even they can ask like what is latent heat. Okay, what is latent heat of fusion? You need to define that and you need to write the mathematical expression, right? So or else they can ask latent, what is latent heat of vaporization. Okay, so these are some of the questions. Okay, so the questions which I have we are discussing now covers the maximum expected questions from the final examination. Okay, I said only maximum, not exactly 100%. 80% it covers, 20% can be asked apart from this questions also. Okay, so the total marks of test is nothing but the test is conducted for 25 marks. Okay, hence uh, I suggest you to go through the entire chapter in case if you want to score out of out. Okay, or else if you want to score more than 20, please go through the entire chapter. Okay, so these are the some of the uh, 2 marks questions. Okay, okay, Kushi, I'll come to that question paper pattern later once we complete these things. Okay, so next 3 mark question. So the 3 mark question in this thermal properties of matter is nothing but it is show that alpha subscript V is equal to 1 by T for an ideal gas where the symbols have their usual meaning. Okay, so see here, this question is not in the notes. Okay, the answer for this question is not in the notes, but we have discussed in the class. Okay, I just forgot to send this derivation. I'll do one thing after the class. I'll just send this answer for this question. Okay, so that is show that alpha subscript V is equal to 1 by T. Okay, for this question I'll send the answer, just you can go through that. It is very simple, just I think it is 3 to 4 steps you have. So for that you'll get 3 marks. Okay, so next is nothing but coming to the 5 marks question in this chapter. That is nothing but the 5 marks, the expected question will be nothing but it is state and deduce Newton's law of cooling. Okay, so state and explain, state and deduce Newton's law of cooling. So you need to uh, state the statement of the Newton's law of cooling. Okay, so state the statement of Newton's law of cooling, that is the rate of cooling of a body is directly proportional to the difference in the temperature of the body and its surrounding, provided difference in temperature is small. Okay, so hence 1 mark will be allotted for the statement and rest 4 marks will be allotted for derivation. Okay, so 4 plus 1, 5 marks. So hence this Newton's law of cooling derivation is important. Okay, you can just go through this question almost in all the final examination paper. Okay, so next is nothing but it is said that explain any 2 types of expansions of solids with relevant equations. Okay, expansion of 2 types of expansions in solids. Can you name which are those? Anyone? In case if you remember, I'm asking. Okay, any two you can take. Either it is linear expansion or superficial or area expansion or volume or cubical expansion. Any two you can take, either linear or superficial or volume or linear. Okay, in your 3 types of expansion you have, in these 3 types you need to choose any two. Okay, and you need to explain that. Okay, and you need to write the SI unit of coefficient of expansion of solid. So what is the SI unit? It is per degree Celsius or per Kelvin. That is the SI unit. Okay, so these are the some of the expected questions. Okay, yeah, Tasneem, you need to draw the diagram. Okay, so these are some of the important questions. Okay, so as I said, in case if you want to score more than 20, go through entire chapter. Okay, so next it is regarding the mechanical properties of solids. Okay, Coming to the mechanical properties of solids, two mark questions. Okay, 2 marks question is nothing but, you can see there, it is state and explain Hooke's law. Okay, so this question they have repeatedly asked in your examination. Again, you need to state the statement of that, and you need to write the mathematical form of that Hooke's law. Okay, so even there are some of the questions they can also ask what is the defined stress, defined strain. Okay, so these are some of the questions which they can ask for 1 mark or 2 marks. Okay, so hence go through the entire notes. So next, coming to the 3 mark questions in this chapter, you have derive an expression for Young's modulus in the case of stretched wire. Okay, even this answer for this question is not there in the notes. Okay, so but we have discussed in the class. So don't worry. Once we finish this class, I'll just send the um answer for this both the questions. One is for this and one is for this one. Okay, just you can copy down and you can practice. So 3 mark question in the case of mechanical properties of solids is nothing but they ask derive an expression for Young's modulus in the case of stretched wire. Okay, so next is nothing but it is the most expected question, which is nothing but draw stress strain curve for a metal wire, mention yield point and breaking point. Okay, so hence for this question you need to draw a diagram. Okay, you need to draw a figure, you need to name it. Okay, and you need to explain what is that yield point and breaking point. Okay, you need to explain. Okay, so hence this is for 3 marks. So 5 mark question you don't have in the mechanical properties of solids. Okay, no 5 mark question from the mechanical properties of solids. So next, coming to this motion in a straight line. Okay, coming to this motion in a straight line, the 2 marks question, okay, is nothing but it is they are going to ask calculate the distance traveled and displacement of a particle moving once around a circle of radius 10 meter. So you need to calculate what is the distance and what is the displacement. Can anyone answer for that? What is the value of a distance and displacement for that question? Yes, anyone? You need to calculate what is the distance and displacement of a particle moving once around a circle of radius 10 meter. What is the value of distance and what is the value of displacement? Okay, Kushi has said that distance is 690 meter and displacement is 0. Okay, do one thing. I'll leave you to you itself. Just find the answer. Try to find the answer for that. It's very simple. Okay. So next, coming to the next question, that is distinguish between path length and displacement. Okay. So in the notes you have the difference between the path length and the displacement. Okay. You can just go through that. So the next is nothing but it is said that what is relative velocity. Okay. What is relative velocity? Give its SI unit. Okay, so relative velocity is nothing but it's the last concept in the motion in a straight line chapter. Okay, so that is regarding the relative velocity. You can just go through. So next, again, in the 2 marks question of this motion in a straight line, so there are some of the questions which they repeatedly ask. Okay, so I'll just name it, just go through yourself. Okay, so that is nothing but they are going to ask position time graph for different cases. Okay, if you just go through the notes, you have position time graph for different cases, hence go through all the cases. Okay, any two can be asked. Okay, even in the examination you can see they have asked either this position time graph or velocity time graph. So since the position time graph is not there in your examination, so don't go through. Okay, so since they have reduced the 30% of syllabus, right, so hence the position time graph has been removed. Hence just only go through the velocity time graph for different cases. Okay, so just some of the cases I'll just name it. So the velocity time graph for a body which is moving with uniform velocity, and velocity time graph for a body which is moving with uniform acceleration starting from the rest. Next, velocity time graph for a body moving with uniform acceleration starting with some initial velocity. Next, velocity time graph for a body moving with uniform retardation. Next, velocity time graph for a body moving with variable velocity. Okay, so these are some of the different cases. Okay, so for sure, this question which I have just mentioned, velocity time graph for different cases, any two can be asked in your examination. Okay, hence it is very very important. So, but here since it is more, I had just not mentioned. So just I'm informing you. Okay, even this question you can expect in the test. Any cases they can be asked. Okay, this is regarding the 2 mark question in the case of motion in a straight line. So next coming to the 3 marks question. So 3 mark question is nothing but usually they ask for 3 marks this itself, distinguish between path length and displacement. Either that question can be asked for 2 marks or else it can be asked for 3 marks. Okay, it depends. Either 2 or 3 marks it can be asked. That is the first question. So the second one is nothing but they are going to ask define relative velocity, draw position time graph of two objects moving along a straight line when their relative velocity is 0 and non-zero. So just go through the graphs of relative velocity. In the notes it has been given. You have 3 cases. So just go through all the 3 cases. Okay. So first you need to write down, define what is relative, what do you mean by this relative velocity. Next you need to draw the graph for 2 cases, what they have asked there. Okay. So this is the 3 mark questions which you can expect in the chapter motion in a straight line. Okay. So the next is nothing but it is 5 marks question is, it's very simple. As I said, you have three equations of motions, right? Kinematic equations of motion you have. Kinematic equations. So, three equations you have. Three equations is also important, okay? Three is also important. All the three are important. But when you just go through the question paper, these are the two questions which they have repeatedly asked. That is, the 1 mark will be allotted for what is VT graph, and the rest of the four marks will be allotted for to derive x is equal to V naught t plus half at square, which is nothing but similar to s is equal to ut plus half at square. Okay, anything they can ask. Either they can ask, I mean they can say that derive this equation s is equal to ut plus half at square. Okay, either they can ask this thing here, x is equal to v naught t plus half at square. X is nothing but the displacement, v naught t is nothing but the initial velocity, t is time, a is acceleration due to gravity. Okay, so again the next question is nothing but that is the same. 1 mark will be allotted for what is vt graph, you need to explain. Next, the rest of the 4 marks will be allotted for v square is equal to v naught square plus 2ax. Okay, either this question can be asked as v square, define v square is equal to u square plus 2ax. Okay, 2ax or 2as, anything. So what is this v denotes here? V denotes final velocity, v naught denotes initial velocity, a acceleration due to gravity, s is nothing but the displacement. Again here also it is one and the same. V is final velocity, u is initial velocity, a is acceleration due to gravity, x is the displacement. Okay, so this is regarding the some of the important questions which we come across in the chapter thermal properties of matter, mechanical properties of solids, and motion in a straight line. Okay, So this is regarding the important questions. You can expect some of the question apart from these questions also in the test. Okay, hence I recommend you people to study whole chapter, whole notes. Okay, to score good marks. Okay, and now itself I'm clarifying you people, I don't want any failures in my subject. Okay, since you people requested in the last class to do the revision. Okay, so I have just given the hint. Okay, hint is nothing but some of the important questions. Okay, so these are some of the important questions. As I said, in this questions what we discussed now, you can expect some of the questions in your test. Hence these are nothing but the important questions from the exam point of view. So hence you can expect some of the questions from these questions in your test. Okay, so just go through everyone. Okay, now itself I'm saying I don't want any failures. Okay, so as you know that in case if you fail, okay, in case if you fail, you're going to, I mean, your parents is going to get a call from the college, okay, regarding your marks. Okay, and you may be also asked to come to the college, okay, along with your parents. So hence I don't want anyone getting failed in my subject. Okay, yes, coming to the question paper pattern. Okay, see here, I have not just highlighted one mark question here. Okay, one mark question, you need to go through the notes and textbook itself. Okay, so one mark questions, you need to go from the, I mean, you need to go through the textbook. So I'll just highlight the question paper pattern. So see here, in the question paper pattern, you have one mark question. I think five you have. Okay, so hence one mark question is a compulsory question. First main is compulsory. First main is a one mark question. Okay, so next it is a second main question. Second main, that is nothing but it is regarding the 2 marks. Okay, in the 2 marks you need to answer any two. Okay, you need to answer any two. So you will be having a choice, that is you have one choice for this. In the second main you will be given three questions, you need to answer any two there. Okay, so that is the second main. So the coming to the third main, that is nothing but it is 3 mark question. Again you need to answer any two. Out of three you need to answer any two. Okay, that is a third mark question. So next it is a 5 mark question. This 5 mark question, 5 mark question, any one you need to answer. Out of two, any one. Two questions will be given, out of two, any one. Again the last main is nothing but numerical part. Again here, out of two, any one should be answered. Okay, so this is the question paper pattern. You can just see